Christopher Nolan has proven himself to be one of the most talented filmmakers of his generation. However, like every filmmaker, he has his quirks. Dunkirk is the first time Nolan has attempted a movie with real history behind it, and it is rare to get a World War II movie that takes place before the US enters the war, and somehow his quirks shine through here louder than ever before. Nolan's war epic is filled with memorable characters played by actors who are regulars to his films, like Tom Hardy as an Air Force pilot, Michael Caine as an uncredited voice cameo, and Cillian Murphy as a shell-shocked soldier. The film keeps the names of characters fairly vague, perhaps because many of the characters don't have an exact real-world counterpart, but rather each character here is made up of a collection of real-life people that corresponds to them, which is a skilled way to maintain the integrity of events while minimizing the actual characters in the film to prevent the movie from feeling overbloated. We also get a completely brilliant score by Hans Zimmer, who once again knocks it out of the park. He's easily one of the best composers for movies ever. Zimmer seems to know exactly which note to hit to get you emotionally invested. However, not every trait of Nolan's can be considered good. Sometimes he can make some of his weaknesses work to his advantage. He has a tendency to rely entirely too much on dialogue to tell his stories rather than using visuals. This worked well in a film like Inception because he needed to convey a set of rules in a clear way so the audience understands the movie we're in for. But it doesn't quite work as well in the Dark Knight movies, and it definitely doesn't work so well in Dunkirk. And while Nolan has become a much better action director since Batman Begins, his action scenes still have little to no lasting impact. Dunkirk's action all lies in this meh area. You can get invested in the characters, and that causes you to care what happens, but the actual action just seems to happen and is gone with no real fanfare. Finally, Nolan seems to have tried some sort of artistic editing with this film. There are inexplicable time jumps that don't help the narrative, but rather distract the audience and makes people acutely aware they're watching a movie. The movie is for the most part very linear in its narrative, which makes the random time jumps all the more baffling. Still, this is a good movie, more on par with Interstellar as far as total quality than something like Inception. It's not one of Nolan's best, but even a weak Nolan film is better than what most studios put out by a wide margin.
Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page.